Okay, we got a few problems here. Good morning, afternoon, and evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another Bomber video. Bombers lose 28-27 to the Calgary Stampeders, and we have a few problems on our hands. Now, there's kind of a popular one going around here, and I don't necessarily fully disagree with that, but I think we got to dig in a little bit. So, yeah, 28-27 to Calgary. This was a better game for Winnipeg compared to the previous games against Calgary that were absolute dog water. Those games were bad. They were terrible. There was nothing good. And there are positive things from this game, but there are some issues. So firstly, Zach Collaros throws 21 for 26, 214 passing yards, 1 touchdown, no picks. So as much as maybe you'd want some longer ones, there's no interceptions that he throws. So that's a key thing. That's a good thing so far. If we look at rushing, Brady Oliveira, 68 rushing yards is what it is. But 5.7 average. That's a good average. You want above 5. If you can be close to 6, that's good. Means he was getting almost 6 yards per carry. That's what you want from your starting running back. Now, he was also leading the charge receiving, and that's a little concerning. Not that I don't like Brady Oliveira getting 100 receiving yards, but, I need to see a little bit more for everyone else. Again, at one point we were talking about Wheatfall might be, he had some catches earlier on in the season that were looking like Kenny Lawler-esque. Could we see that? It's been kind of invisible since then. Sergio Castillo, the man is just a god. He is. 63-yard field goal is now either is or is tied for the longest field goal in CFL history on the same day that someone in the NFL hit 70, which is even crazier. But Sergio Castillo, a 63-yarder, absolutely ridiculous. Now, there's one big thing that I see a lot of people are mentioning. Bombers Paradise on Instagram is being very much kind of on this train of that Jason Hogan needs to go as offensive coordinator. And I don't think I agree with that in the sense of I don't know if we have to get rid of him. I am willing to acknowledge that he has made some mistakes. I'm not going to lie. I got a little bit frustrated with Jason Hogan because it felt like he was trying to force a deep ball with Streveler. And I stand by that. I still think that was not the right call. But then when you get Zach Collaros back, the guy who can throw the deep balls, and you don't go for it, then there's that. I'm not saying every play, but this Bombers team just gets too flustered. And what I mean by that is that something will go wrong. They'll have a drive where they can't get it going, and everyone just panics. Everyone freaks out. And it's funny. This extends into the fan base. It does. And I'm not trying to shit on anyone. I'm not. But the amount of times where the Bombers will get 1 loss or 2 losses, and it's just everyone's dying. The world is over. What could we possibly do? This is the end of the world as we know it. And I'm not saying you can't be frustrated. I've been frustrated. If you see my prior videos, we had 3 straight games, 2 games against Calgary and 1 game against Toronto, where we lost the same way, the same game 3 times. We won afterwards, but there was kind of an asterisk next to that. My problem, my number 1 issue, actually above the Jason Hogan stuff, is the secondary. The pass protection, our coverage. And this isn't even I don't even know if I'm putting this on Jordan Younger, because the thing is that as much as it's easy to throw on offensive, defensive coordinators, at the end of the day, the job of the guys on the field is to execute. You can have the most brilliant plan in the world, but if they don't execute it, that's on the players. And so I understand that if there's play calling that is actively hindering, I believe that Collaros should have went for the deep ball more. I believe that you know, when he was playing with Strevler and whatnot, him going for that corner route in the end zone is not good with Strevler. But then there's some stuff with Jason Hogan I actually do like. Like, for example, there are some plays when Strevler is in specifically where he runs Brady Oliveira as a lead blocker and Strevler behind and he'll grab like 7 yards. That's a great play. Keep that. That's good. Some of his stuff with the jet sweep and kind of changing up a little bit from Buck Pierce's to give it a fresh look. We've gotten some success with that. But those are kind of some niche plays. I think the Bombers, all in all, for play calling, need consistency and occasionally something special in there to really spice it up. That's arguably the best play calling that's your ideal play calling in professional football, is having a relatively vanilla offense, effective, because at the end of the day, even if you're predictable, they still have to stop you. Like Buck Pierce, former offensive coordinator for Winnipeg, arguably one of the most predictable offensive coordinators on planet Earth. Seriously, everyone knew what he was going to do, because I'd say 80% of the time he's running on first down, so stop the run. And if he gets under 5 yards, he's passing 100% of the time. If he gets over 5 yards, then it's kind of a little bit of a coin toss there. But the closer he is to that 10-yard, he's going to try running it again. But if he hits just maybe 5, he might do like a short pass to like Wolatarski or whatever. Back then, everyone knew it. It's not like no one knew what Buck Pierce's offense was. And I know people will talk about, well, he lost in Grey Cup, blah, 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 blah. He still fucking got to the game. He's still got a whole season worth of wins before that. And again, and I had my problems with Buck Pierce. I did. I thought that maybe we needed a little bit of a new look. But at the same time, I feel like we're getting a little bit too carried away here, in the sense of that this team needs to calm down. They get a little bit of adversity and then they just get flustered. And then they get frustrated. And I understand that. But you kind of got to lock the fuck in. Like, if I'm being real here, like, and the thing is again, my problem with the coverage is being with the defense here is we're just giving up too much. The amount of times where we are giving up the pass and then just immediately tackling him afterwards, like retroactively, or he's getting the pass and then we're pushing him out of bounds. We're never jumping in front of them. I'm not saying go for the pick every play, but they need to be a bit aggressive. And I haven't been exactly too crazy pleased with our secondary. Now, we've dealt with some injuries. Parker was out. And then Bonds would get injured. That doesn't help. Kelly went in. And Kelly, who is he's backup safety, he got burnt a few times this game. It was... The changes at the secondary have been noticeable. In my opinion, is the most noticeable change on the roster where the Bombers have gotten hurt. And I don't know if you got to trade to make it better. I don't know if there's something you got to do to make these guys wake up and practice. But we need a bit more. Because if we look back all the way to week 5, so keep in mind, this game today was week 10. Let's go back to week 5. This is the start of the disaster for some, as they would call it. So Calgary beats Winnipeg in the Stampede Bowl, the inaugural Stampede Bowl, 37-16. Okay, so that's one game so far in what we're keeping track of, where Winnipeg give up 30-plus points, okay? They don't play week 6. We have a bye week. Week 7, Winnipeg loses 41-20. Okay, so that's now 2 games, 30-plus points given up. Then they play week 8. The Bombers lose 31-17. That is now 3 consecutive games you have given up 30-plus points. Then there's week 4. The Bombers win 40-31. So they get the win, but they still give up 31 points. There's now 4 consecutive games of giving 31 points up. Then Winnipeg today loses 28-27. For the first time since week 3. For the first time since week 3, Winnipeg gave up less than 30 points. And not only that, just barely. It was 28. Like, seriously, that's 2 rouges away. That's less than a field goal. We got to play some better defense. Now, I understand that with the games I mentioned, that there were some pick sixes, that there was this, that there was that, and there was all sorts of I get that. I know it's not just this. But the thing is that the notion that the Winnipeg Blue Bombers have one problem, and that if we solve this problem, that all of our problems magically disappear, I don't fall into that camp. I see numerous issues. I think our zone coverage needs to play tighter. I think we're giving up too much, because right now our coverage is just praying to God Willie Jefferson gets a hand on it and knocks it down, because that's not good enough. We need better than that. So we need a bit more of an aggressive coverage. We need something that really defends, because and the other thing is another issue I've had with with the Bombers is that they're not making the adjustments within the game, in the sense of especially this game. So they go up 17-0, and then they go into halftime 23-16. Okay, so you lost a little bit of your lead there, but you're leading going into half. That's good. But then Calgary adjusted. They saw the way Winnipeg was playing. They made adjustments over halftime, and they were prepared. And obviously, we don't know exactly what Calgary's going to put up, so I'm not expecting start of the third quarter we just instantly are getting it right. We might have a few struggling drives. But there needs to come to a point where you see the changes Calgary has made, and then you make changes of yourself. The Bombers need to adjust, and that's something where I think you can give a little bit of crap to the coaches for that. That's kind of their role in this, so fair enough. Again, I think the blame is not for one or whatever individual. This idea that Zach Collaros, that I've heard he's just washed, he's the problem. Zach Collaros was fine today. I don't have a problem with Collaros. I wish he went for the deep ball, but he's not the one calling the plays, is he? So, again, little bit of shit for Jason Hogan on some of that stuff. Injuries, that hurts, but that hurts every team. The defense not playing tight enough. This team needs to be better. Now, thankfully, Winnipeg is playing. It's funny. I say thankfully, but no. Winnipeg is playing Ottawa next week. And I was going to say thankfully they're playing Ottawa. But you know what? Ottawa's played pretty decent. They just beat Toronto, and Toronto had smacked us around for one game, and we had a close game when we beat them. Winnipeg needs to treat every opponent like a big threat. I don't care that Ottawa's bottom of the East. They got a big win against an opponent that made us struggle. Win or loss, we struggled against Toronto. So you got to bring your A game. And this team needs to calm down. This team needs to calm down. And the good news, at least with that, is in terms of getting a team to calm down when they're flustered. There's not many things that Coach O'Shea is better at than that. And he's dealing with a very strange team in the sense of a mixture of a lot of old veterans on this team that are kind of on their last legs. The next 3 to 4 years, they're retiring. And a lot of young guys that have that talent, that have that potential, but need the guidance to thoroughly seek that out and to fully develop into those kinds of players. And so I'm hoping that the Bombers can kind of get this going. At the end of the day, a 4-4 record is what we have right now. We're 500, for every game that we've won. We've lost a game. For every game we've lost, we've won a game. And I understand that the bar is higher than that. In a year where you're hosting the Grey Cup, the bar is higher than that. But that's workable. It is. Trust me, it's not like the East is looking good. Because Hamilton's 6-3, 12 points. Montreal's 5-4, 10 points. Toronto, in third, is 2-7. Or unless Ottawa might have moved up, because I think they might be 3-6 now. But, The likelihood of a crossover from the West and the East is very likely. At least at this point. If course continues, we'll have to see. Maybe Chad Kelly comes back. Maybe the Red Blacks go on a heater. We'll have to see. But at the end of the day, I want to know what your guys' thoughts are in the comment section down below. I kind of went on kind of the same. I feel like I was kind of talking in circles, the same 3 points for this video. But yeah, I'm not pleased with this game. Obviously, there's a lot of room for improvement. We play Ottawa on Thursday. I expect a better performance against them. And yeah, because if you think about it, we got Ottawa, then we play Montreal the week after, and then it's Labor Day. Labor Day and manageable. They're coming up a lot sooner than people realize. So, maybe that will be the reset the Bombers need. Get a few wins before that, obviously, but Labor Day and manageable are a different beast. They are. Where you are in the standings does not matter once you get to Labor Day or manageable. No matter if Winnipeg is doing great and Saskatchewan struggling or vice versa, those games are always close. For sure Labor Day is. Manageable, depends. But yeah, so want to know what you guys thought of the game in the comment section down below. Make sure you guys leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. And yeah, peace, love, and positivity, all you wonderful people at home. We will see you guys next time.